Hello everybody, this is Astocky here and I have good news. I have just updated Kerbal Space Program to Life Support Recycler and Life Support Tank were both not found. Okay, that did not go as well as I thought it would go. That was my cruise station. Okay, so let's go back to our design and see what has gone on. Got a bunch of home stuff. I think what might have happened is they might have changed the names on the parts. Why do I not have a flag? Oh, because I haven't picked a flag yet. Clearly, there should be like this one with a line through it to indicate that this is not rocket science. Now, I wonder if I can load a vessel. What did I call it? That one? Life Support Recycler Large and Life Support Tank Large, both not found. Okay, so what I think I might do is I might just quickly quit out and see if I can come back in and have these things working. So hopefully back in just a moment's time. Okay guys, I'm back and I have hopefully really good news. Basically what I did is I went in and edited the persistence file to change the parts on these that were called Life Support blah 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 to Crew Support blah blah blah, which is the new name. And hopefully I'm going to fly this thing now and it's going to work. Now the part that was in the VAB that basically controls it all got loads of oxygen and carbon dioxide. How are we doing here? That tank is getting cold. What about you? You are my life support tank. You are my thingy-me. Are we activating the recycler? We are. And it's just draining away the power. But it's making sure we have lots of oxygen. The scrubber is hopefully deactivated. Excellent. Let's activate the detector. Show the map. Now, this is a slight issue with the new version of the Kethane mod. It doesn't beep. The sound has ended up all messed up, but that's not a super big deal. I think I can live with that. It still maps everything the way that it's supposed to and still should mostly work the way that it's supposed to. Whoa, really sapping away that electric charge. What I might do is turn that thing down a bit. Actually, let's deactivate it. Now, what's the rate they're using oxygen? I wonder if it can tell me. Oxygen rate, there you go, 3 per hour. So now let's set this recycler. Activate. Set it down to give them back 3 oxygen per hour. Yep, that's going to have to do. And how's our... We are still... Are your solar panels not working? Yeah, we still appear to be using power more quickly than we're getting it back. Even though we're only using a tiny little piece of it. But that's okay. Let's deactivate the recycler again. Why are you still going down? Okay, that's really weird. It's like these solar panels are not working, and I hope it's not because the sun's just become eclipsed. Maybe let's retract these and then re-extend them and see if they work any better that time, because there's definitely something funky going on here. Come on, pull out. They're not turning to face the sun. Most curious. You're alive, right? Let's just warp around until the moon and the earth are no longer, sorry, the moon and Kerbal are no longer eclipsing the sun. And there we go. Now we're getting our power back. So now that we're actually getting some power, let's see how this thing goes. Activate. Ah, perfect. See, we're hardly using any power at all now. So we'll reactivate the detector. It's going to do its thing, and it's now detecting, although it's kind of eerie with there being absolutely no sound at all, but generating plenty of power, and it definitely seems like it's working. So quite happy with that station for right now. Yeah, I'll deal with whatever the issue is later. For now, let's not end the flight. Let's go to the Space Center. And seeing as I need to update this again, and what did we do in the last mission? It's been a little while since I played this. I think the last mission, yes, was I put our first rocket probe, Moonisat, around the moon. To be fair, I can't really be asked doing that again right now. It's mainly laziness, but also I don't currently have the fairing pack installed. I just didn't get around to updating it in time. Ooh. They look like they've changed some of the dishes as well. They've added some more dishes, that's cool. Super complicated, massively overpriced, high-tech tracking dish. What a genius way to consume power. That sounds so cool. What are you, remote tech microsat? Ha! That's just like, that's like a satellite, an entire satellite. That's cool. Can't be the first part though, so let's get which one's the smallest one? I think that's it there. Clearly not ideal. Where's our Kerbal engineer? What do we got? We've got thrust, we've got ISP, we've got a fair bit of delta V too. That's almost passable, but we're not going to do that. That would be just crazy. What we are instead going to do is play with space planes. I feel like this time I can actually get a plane off the ground. That's what I'm thinking. I might be a little cocky, I might be a little overambitious, but I feel like I can get something off the ground here. So we're going to go for... No, you know what? We're not going to kill any Kerbals. No, that's a really big one. I don't want a really big one. We want that one. You're the small one, right? Actually, I've got the probe compatibility on, so hopefully I can just stick a probe together. These are fancy looking. Well, whatever, we're just going to stick that one on, and then we'll see if we can build a plane around it. Control. You cost way too much, I'm not going to do you. Just a little look at that. Beautiful nose cone. You could almost imagine there was a pilot on this thing. Almost. Oop. So I've installed the empty fuel tank mod, which adds for like every tank you have, it adds an empty variant, and it also seems to add oxidizer variants. So we've got the liquid fuel variant, Why would we want oodles and oodles and oodles of oxidizer without having one that has like oodles and oodles of actual rocket propellant? That is a screwed up texture there too. Yeah, there must be a reason for all that oxidizer, but I can't for the life of me think of what it is. The important thing though is if we take this part here. Wow, you seem really big. But that's okay. All we're building today is a space plane. Actually, we want... Which one of you just has liquid fuel? Jet fuel. Just jet fuel, perfect. This is going to be a most odd looking vehicle, I believe. We want some intakes. 2 of them in fact. Kind of horn mounted intakes there. In fact, I'm actually starting to think that I might stick that empty fuel tank there and then stick that at the back. We need an engine, basic jet engine, turbojet engine. I think that's going to be most helpful. Now we are going to need wings. Crazy wings. So center of mass, center of lift. Wow, that center of mass is a long way back. So if we stick some delta wings back there, and then maybe stick some canards on the front. Now the center of lift there is slightly in front of the center of mass, and we will fix that now by adding giant control surfaces. So now with the 2 giant control surfaces, it is slightly further back. This is going to be such an odd looking plane. I really hope it works. I'm going to go for 2 twitchy little vertical stabilizer things. Now we're going to need some wheels for this. Aero probe back gear. That's a rather small looking wheel. Where are the real wheels? There we go. So we only want a single gear at the front. Snap to front. And then we're going to want to have 2 gear at the back. Now I was kind of really hoping that these would all adjust a little bit, so what I'm going to have to do is move those back and move those forward. See, the center of the lift is still a long way back there. Got a little tiny clipping issue there, but I don't think that's going to be the world's... it's not going to be a world-ending problem. In fact, I do need to tweak the mass a little bit anyway, because I'm going to need some power for this thing, otherwise the probe's not going to work. So power comes under utility. What are these things and why can't I see them? Ah, logos. Sure, there's a reason why I might need those. Let's take everything off that. Turn those off for a minute. And put on some battery power. There we go. Plenty of battery power now. Center of mass, center of lift all in the right spot. All we need now is a Kerbal engineer to tell us how much it all costs. The total cost is 11,820. So I've lost my old sheet, that doesn't matter. 11,820. Now this is a test plane. It is a tester to check, it's going to do a sanity check on my competence as a pilot. Now there's some lines and things that need to go down for it to be stable. I don't know which one those are. That's going to be fine. That's going to be fine. That is also going to be fine. Now these ones are just going to do yaw. And these big ones are just, no, they're going to do pitch and roll. And these ones at the front are just going to do pitch. Now, canards really make these things like crazy unstable. But I'm hoping that I have the technology and that I have the power for this to work. Now, how do we want to go? Nope. Like that. We want 2 of nope. What button did I hit? There we go. So we want to have it just behind the center of mass and 2 of them. So hopefully that won't, I have this crazy feeling that's going to pivot much too hard. Hopefully that will stop it from pivoting but still allow me to produce enough lift to take off. So price is still the same. We're going to call this Probe Aircraft 1. Save. Launch. Time to fly. We are out of contact. And we sat on our bottom a little bit. That doesn't matter. We can end the flight. Nothing got damaged, nothing got destroyed. I'm pretending that didn't cost me anything. Now clearly the reason why it sat on its backside is because I stuffed around with it too much. So we're going to try these again. Like that. See how that goes. 2 of them please. So that should hold that much better. And because we are an aircraft, we need to have an omnidirectional antenna. Just there. That is the perfect spot for it. So let's design B, because it's embarrassing when you forget the most important part of a probe aircraft, which is the probe part. There's my crew manifest button. I don't have a far menu. Yeah, that's odd. But we're gonna whoop 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 whoop. Back to the Space Center. This is the wrong part of the center. Let's pretend I went over here. I have to load this thing up now. It is the Probe 1B. I totally forgot to check what it costs as well. So we're going to scratch through that first one, and this time we're going to put 12,920 divided by 5. So we just paid for one, and then times 2 because we're about to buy a second one. Now where did I go wrong with this? I think the issue is with these front control surfaces. So I'm going to substantially... No, not those ones. Those are our yaw controls, so we definitely want those to work. It is the other winglets that we need to have a little less control over. 10. Clear the runway. Psh, not that important. Deploy the antenna. So let's just try pulling back just a tiny little bit this time. No. You didn't see anything. There was absolutely no crash. No matter what it might have looked like was about to happen, there was not a crash in sight. What in the... That's not... I don't know what happened there. There's only one part. Yeah, 12,370 is what it should have cost, and something screwed itself up then. I don't think this is what this is all going to be like. This is just the very first episode where I am attempting to reorient myself with how these things should work. Yes, this is a most unstable craft design. Most unstable. Well, had to show you guys what happened. Okay, so yes, we had an issue. So back to the spaceplane hangar. We're going to try one more. See, all the weight should be in the fuel tank at the front. We're going to try a little thing here with somebody else's aircraft. What do you cost? You cost 26,950. So we want 1/5 of that. Another test aircraft. I seem to fall back on this plane quite a lot, but that's probably a good thing because it works. Now for some reason FAR is showing up on this aircraft but not on the other ones. Confusing. Oh no, we've got Jebediah. We're actually probably going to kill a pilot this time. That's not cool. There we go, gear up. Trying to climb now, come on, climb. So you can see we have temperature, we have all that kind of stuff. Getting some minor stalling, that's not ideal. It'd be nice if we could climb a little bit faster and stall a little bit less. So maybe if I cut the throttle back and we bleed some speed off, that might help. But I definitely want to continue to watch my forward speed. Oh wow. I think I'm going to have to just push through this as quick as I can. And hopefully crack that barrier to the point where it starts to become a little aerodynamically more stable, because right now I have no control over this at all. Like, I just have no ability to pull the plane up. I don't know why I've just got no control authority at all. Now that's really odd, because the last time I flew this aircraft I had a really good amount of control authority. So I don't know what it could be actually. I'm going to try it one more time, because this has always been my fallback plane, because it's always been so stable. You know, stable to the point where even I couldn't crash it. I could make it blow up by going too fast. But I basically never ever had a problem with getting it off the ground and keeping it in the air. So like even now, I've lost all control authority. Got the gear up, don't we? Yeah, we've got the gear up. It's keeping the nose up in the air this time though, which has got to be a good thing. Maybe I can turn on the SAS and have that do something. No. I don't know what to say. It's not flying very happily at the moment, but I guess it's climbing. That's got to be. It's got to be something. No, we're starting to lose that climb now. Now let's airspeed settings. Let's go for EAS. See that should be a good EAS. But yeah, I mean I'm doing 200 plus knots and I've almost stalled. So there seems to be something going quite wrong here. Like the aircraft just has not an even slight speck of control authority. And we're losing speed rather than gaining it. Yeah, I think there's something wrong with this aircraft design. It's saying the control angle shouldn't be stalling until 50 degrees. Yeah, I mean it should be working. It's like most odd that it's not. I'm going to give it one more try and see if I can work out what's going on. Gonna try and give myself a lot more speed this time before I get up off the ground. In case you're wondering, I'm just pitching back a little bit to take the weight off the nose wheel, because that seems to make these aircraft much more stable. So what I'm going to do now is just go low and fast, build up some speed. And while I have control authority, no, I don't have any control authority again. I can fly level and that's it. I wonder if I can trim the nose up and see what happens. Again, I'm trimming the nose up quite a lot and we're stalling. We're not climbing, we're just stalling, and we're losing speed again. There's something bugged going on here. I just can't put my finger on what it is, but the plane just doesn't seem to be flyable anymore. Which is quite a shame, because this was definitely one of the better planes. And once again, we've barely got off the ground. And we've got no control authority and we're stalling. Like something has now fully messed this aircraft up, and it just doesn't fly. Like I can't get sufficient control authority for this aircraft to even fly. So I'm going to call an end to the episode here and have a bit of a muck around offline. I'm not going to take those last experimental aircraft are off my budget. Let's just say the Kerbal military were experimenting with some things to see what would happen, and it turns out what happens isn't good. I'm perfectly happy to pay for my designs that fail, but when the designs that come with the game fail, that's indicative to me that something's not working the way that it should. So, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Stay tuned for the next episode, which will hopefully be over the weekend when I've got some things sorted out and I'm ready to launch another, maybe even a manned mission to the moon. I want to plant a flag on the moon pretty quick, so we'll see what we can come up with that's interesting for next episode. Anyway, until then, Astocky out.